I struggled in high school, but I got by pretty well. And I thought, maybe when I'm in college, I'll be able to do fine, do well, succeed. When I got here, I still struggled. I did okay academically in the beginning, but I realized I really needed help. After a long struggle, having difficulty in school, difficulty with family and stuff, I ended up getting diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And it's been a long process of getting the diagnosis, helping treat myself, getting all the kind of self-help and self-care I need. And now I'm doing pretty well, and I'm working hard at school to graduate. I discovered Active Minds about 2 years ago when I was working on some mental health policy work in student government. I wasn't like a member then. I was just kind of trying to gauge their opinions on different issues, mental health issues on campus. But eventually, after going to a few meetings, it really kind of found a place in my heart. It was a group of people who were all going through the same experiences that I was. And there was a camaraderie and a real importance in the mission of what they were doing. So kind of after a few months, I started just going as a member, not just as someone working with them through student government. It's a very supportive culture internally, but also externally. It helps support people and make them know it's okay to have a mental health issue. 1 in 4 of us does, and everyone has their own mental health on the spectrum. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, but we all have our own mental health, and we help fight the stigma against that, and we help people feel more comfortable talking about their mental health issues. It's important to get help if you need it. If you think you might need help, go for it. There's nothing worse than not seeking help when you really truly need it, and be comfortable talking about it. Talk about it with your friends. Let's try and end the stigma with mental health, because right now it's really hard living in the world if you have some sort of mental health issue, and the best way that we can kind of improve the disparities that exist for people with mental health issues is to become more comfortable talking about it.
Allison Malman founded Active Minds when she was a junior at the University of Pennsylvania due to the suicide of her brother Brian. As a college student at Penn as well, Brian had dealt with depression and psychosis for 3 years. However, he had not shared this experience with anyone around him until the middle of his senior year, when he returned home to receive treatment for what doctors later diagnosed as schizoaffective disorder. Unfortunately, on March 24, 2000, Allison lost her brother to suicide. It became evident to Allison that very few students at Penn were opening up and talking out about mental health issues, which prompted her to change the culture around campus. Since there was no mental health group already, Allison created her own and called it Open Minds. Only after a year did Open Minds become recognized and gain the support of others that had expanded to other college campuses. In 2003, growth and demand led Allison to open a national headquarters in Washington, D.C. This is when Open Minds was renamed Active Minds, and awareness of the nonprofit organization has spread ever since.
Active Minds is a national nonprofit organization that seeks to empower students in hopes to both educate and help them openly speak out about mental health. Active Minds' main goals are to work with students on college campuses in order to increase the awareness of mental health issues, provide important information and useful resources in regards to mental health and illness, encourage students to speak out and ask for help when necessary, and last but not least, bridge students to the mental health community.
Throughout the year, we have a lot. Stressless Week, obviously, our biggest. But we love to do panels. They're really, really fun. Panels are when we get together a few members from the group, and they sit in kind of a board in front of either a class or organization or just like a whole brand new event, and they talk about their experiences with mental health, and then we have a question and answer session at the end. Those have been found to be the most effective ways to combat mental health stigma anywhere, because just somebody sharing their personal story is like the best way to get mental health out there and to reduce that stigma and fight it. So panels are a big thing. We also do Stomp Out Stigma for National Day Without Stigma. That's in October. There's Suicide Awareness Month, Suicide Awareness Day, Suicide Awareness Week, National Eating Disorders Awareness Month. We did an event in February, which was super fun. We decorated mirrors for positive body image. Goodness gracious, and yeah, basically that's all.
Okay, sounds like
I think our campus outreach is really probably one of the stronger parts. Mental health is important to anyone and everyone on our campus, and it's important that we make connections with other groups on campus. It doesn't matter what else they do. So especially with our Stress Less Week coming up, we tried to partner this year just with people all over campus. So we have people, you know, in the LGBT sorority coming. We have multicultural groups. We have Turk Vets, which is a new connection. Just really trying to bring our message out to everyone and be leaders in bringing mental health awareness to the college campus.
Partnerships are really important because they get our name out there, and that gives us somebody to lean on in times of need, and then they have us to lean on in times of need. So as a campus outreach coordinator, that's my biggest role, is keeping strong friendships with Active Minds.
So every week we have one or two of the board members who actually run the meeting. So we'll decide the week a week in advance at our board meetings who's gonna lead what week, what topic, stuff like that. And we'll say, hey, does anyone have a good idea? And if someone has like a really important topic or really interesting thing, they'll do that. So we all do have to take a leadership role at some point during the semester and kind of run our own meeting, which also allows us to kind of engage more personally with the members, because you know they'll say, hey, I remember when she did that meeting or he did that meeting or something like that.
We really work collectively as a unit. So we have obviously, you know, social media chair, we have president, we have vice president, and you have the different titles, but we really do work on like just collectively, and we take whatever job one person can do. So if, you know, our president's really busy one week, then we'll take on things that are her role, you know? So large decisions are made definitely together at board meetings, probably with a lot of research and thought at hand.
In what ways do you feel as your organization needs the most improvement?
Probably communication within the organization, as you know, in the board, and then as well with the board and the members. One of the things that we hear continuously is the members want to get more involved. So this year, you know, we're having these planning meetings for Stress Less Week, kind of breaking up into committees.
I was saying earlier, one of our biggest troubles have been getting members involved and getting them to do a lot. As board members, we have recently in the past been very good at just doing everything ourselves and kind of forgetting that the members are supposed to be doing a lot of the work as well. So recently, honestly, this past year, we've really been trying harder to get more of our members involved. So what we do is with our events, like I was telling you, like Stress Less Week and the panels, we've been doing a lot more sending out emails and getting people to sign up for events to participate in. Sending out surveys to see what they'd like to see, what they don't want to see, things we've done well, things we haven't done well. Getting feedback from them is really important. So